Is there a summer or 4th of July tradition you experienced from the 50s, 60s, or even the 70s that is still practiced today? Maybe from home or the neighborhood. Whatever it was, there's a chance recipes from old Betty Crocker cookbooks that cost less than $10 to feed people were part of it. And today, we are bringing back 25 of those. Before we get started, hit subscribe, because these are the recipes you won't find on any food blogs, Facebook groups, or TikTok. These are the dishes that bring back memories you cry to think of. Let's start with the one that families in the Midwest, across Indiana and Kansas, always had on the table: cucumber and onion salad. This salad was simple, and it was one of the few summer or 4th of July meals people remembered the most. Grandma would slice cucumbers and onions paper thin, then soak them in a mix of vinegar, sugar, and water. She would let it sit in the icebox all morning, so it got cold and a little sweet by lunchtime. Some families still put this on the table at every summer gathering, whether it's the 4th of July or not. People say this salad is still their favorite thing from summer, and they make it the same way today. The longer it sits, the better it gets. Deviled eggs. No 4th of July table was complete without a plate of deviled eggs. Grandma would boil a dozen eggs early in the morning, then peel them carefully so the whites stayed smooth. She would mash the yolks with mustard, mayonnaise, and a pinch of paprika on top. Some families had a special oval plate with 12 indentations that only came out for holidays. In Indiana, this was a summer gathering staple, and they disappeared faster than anything else on the table. Some say they disappeared so fast that a second plate had to be hidden for the adults. There are people today who still grill out just so they have a reason to make deviled eggs the old way. Meatloaf. On the 4th of July, meatloaf was not just a holiday night dinner. Grandma would dress it up with a sweet glaze made from ketchup and brown sugar, brushed on top before it baked. She would mix the ground beef with breadcrumbs, egg, and onion, then shape it by hand in a loaf pan. The meatloaf many of us grew up with cannot be matched by anything today, and there are some of us who wish they had written down the recipe before it was passed on by memory alone. Strawberry shortcake. This dessert was the one everyone waited for. Grandma would pick the strawberries the morning of the party, and she would slice them by hand at the kitchen table. She would mash some of the berries with a little sugar and let them sit in a bowl until the juice came out red and sweet. The biscuit underneath was never a sponge cake. It was a real biscuit, warm and a little crumbly, soaked through with that strawberry juice. Some families still make this every single year, and they say it would not feel like the 4th of July without it. If your grandma made this, you know why people say they still cry to think of it. Baked beans. The smell of baked beans cooking low and slow is one of the strongest memories people have of a 4th of July morning. Grandma would start them early, mixing canned beans with bacon, brown sugar, and a little mustard, then let them bake for hours until they turned thick and dark. The smell would linger all day long, tempting everyone in the house until it was finally time to eat. By the time the family woke up, the whole house smelled like the holiday had started. Some people would give anything to taste those beans just one more time. Red, white, and blue poke cake. This cake was made just for the holiday. Grandma would bake a plain white cake, then poke holes all over the top with a fork. She would pour red gelatin into half the holes and blue gelatin into the other half, then let it chill until the colors set inside the cake. When she cut into it, the inside looked just like fireworks. Kids especially remember this one because it felt like a surprise every single slice. If you don't mind me asking, would you be making red, white, and blue poke cake anytime soon? Oven-fried chicken. This chicken was baked in the oven, not fried in oil, but it still came out crispy on the outside. Grandma would coat the chicken pieces in seasoned flour and crushed corn flakes, drizzle them with melted butter, then bake them on a sheet pan until the skin turned golden and crunchy. The cornflake crust gave it a crunch that shattered at the first bite. A whole chicken cost under $2 and fed 8 people. The best part was that it tasted just as good cold the next day, which made it perfect for a long holiday weekend of leftovers. And it traveled well to a picnic, too. Watermelon fruit basket. This was the centerpiece everyone admired before they even started eating. Grandma would carve a whole watermelon into the shape of a basket, then fill the inside with cut fruit like grapes, melon balls, and berries. Some say it was the edible centerpiece that doubled as the serving bowl. It took patience to carve, but it turned into something both beautiful and edible, sitting right in the middle of the table. For some families, watermelon was the dessert. The whole basket cost under $2 and fed a crowd. Macaroni salad. This salad could feed a crowd for almost nothing, which mattered to families watching their budget. Grandma would boil a big pot of macaroni, then mix it with mayonnaise, chopped vegetables, and a little vinegar. Some added diced pimento for little flecks of red that made it look festive on the table. Some made it with a cooked dressing so it would hold up better in the July heat. One pot of pasta could turn into a full bowl that fed everyone at the party, with room for seconds. It stretched a picnic budget further than anything else. The whole bowl cost under 60 cents. Coleslaw.
There are cooks out there who adore it. I have my sort of classic coleslaw recipe that was my mother's from when I was a child.
The secret to good coleslaw was never a secret kept very well, but it still surprised people. Grandma would shred cabbage and carrots, then mix in mayonnaise with a pinch of celery seed stirred through. There might be people who won't agree with this, but the celery seed was the secret, and a coleslaw without it tasted like something was missing. That celery seed was the small detail that made her coleslaw taste different from everyone else's at the potluck table. Barbecued meatballs. These meatballs had a secret ingredient that surprised everyone the first time they heard about it. Grandma would simmer the meatballs in a sauce made from ketchup and grape jelly, along with a little brown sugar, vinegar, and Worcestershire, melted together until it turned thick and a little sweet. She would serve them warm from a slow cooker, speared with toothpicks, and they were always the first thing to disappear off the table. It sounded strange to anyone who had not tried it, but people say it tasted like magic once they did. Pimento cheese spread. This spread kept the kids fed while the adults waited for the main meal to finish cooking. Grandma would mix shredded cheese, mayonnaise, and chopped pimentos, then spread it on crackers or bread. Some served it on white bread triangles cut into small bites. In some homes, pimento cheese spread was the food that kept children fed while adults stood around the grill. Icebox rolls. These rolls took planning because the dough had to rise in the icebox overnight. Grandma would make the dough the day before the party, then bake the rolls fresh that morning. And I remember the whole house smelled like warm bread. The work was done the night before, so the day of the party was easy. The oven only had to run for 20 minutes. Some say a basket of homemade rolls meant the hostess truly cared about her guests. since it meant she planned just to serve something warm and homemade: creamed peas on toasts. This one split families right down the middle because some loved it and others couldn't stand it. Grandma would make a creamy white sauce, stir in a can of peas, and spoon it over crisp toast points cut into triangles. Back in the day, creamed peas on toast fed children without complaint, and families added chipped beef to make it heartier. While some people remember loving it, even to this day, there are others who still never care for it one bit. Either way, almost everyone remembers it clearly, which says something about how often it showed up on the table. Potato salad. Potato salad was the dish that meant the cookout was really happening. Grandma would boil the potatoes until they were just soft enough, then mix them while still warm with mayonnaise, mustard, chopped celery, and hard-boiled eggs. Some would dust the top with paprika for that finishing touch. Some families added their own twist, like chicken, peas, or even diced apple. Some people say they still grill out today, mainly because it gives them a reason to make potato salad the way she did. Homemade lemonade. Store-bought lemonade never tasted the same as Grandma's. She would squeeze real lemons by hand, mix in sugar and water, and let it chill in a big glass pitcher with ice. In some homes, squeezing lemons was a job kids did on the back porch. Some would freeze a ring of lemonade the night before so the pitcher would never get watered down. People say no powdered mix ever came close to that real lemon taste. It is one of the simplest recipes on this list, and it costs less than $1 to make a whole pitcher. But it is also one of the most missed. Pineapple upside-down cake. This cake took a little bit of nerve to make. Grandma would arrange pineapple rings and cherries in butter and brown sugar at the bottom of the pan, pour the batter on top, and bake it. Some baked it in a cast-iron skillet to get that perfect caramelized edge. The hard part was usually when she had to flip the whole hot cake onto a plate in one motion, hoping it would not fall apart. People still remember watching that flip happen in the kitchen, holding their breath until it landed clean. A clean flip was worth a small cheer from the whole kitchen. The whole cake costs under $1 to make, and some people still make this cake every year. 3-bean salad. This salad got better the longer it sat, so Grandma would make it ahead of the party. She would mix kidney beans, green beans, and wax beans with a sweet and tangy dressing, then let them marinate in the icebox. The beans drank up the tangy dressing and turned bright and sharp. Some families would make it on a Thursday or Friday, just so it would be ready for a Saturday cookout, and the wait was always worth it. And the whole bowl cost under $1. Watermelon rind pickles. Nothing went to waste in Grandma's kitchen, not even the watermelon rind. She would peel and slice the white part of the rind, then pickle it in a sweet vinegar brine with cinnamon and cloves. Some say they took 2 days to make properly, but they were worth the wait. While some believed a jar of watermelon rind pickles in December tasted like July preserved in glass. Old-fashioned lemonade cake. This cake brought the flavor of summer lemonade right into dessert. Grandma would bake a simple yellow cake, then soak it with a glaze made from real lemon juice and sugar while it was still warm. The lemon-soaking syrup pulled the cake slightly apart and let the tartness soak all the way through. Every bite tasted bright and a little tangy. Families would bake it Thursday night, glaze it Friday morning, and it was still perfect Saturday afternoon. People remember it being better than anything they could buy at a store. One thing people still talk about is that nothing today has ever matched it.
My grandma's favorite lemon cake, so much so that she had half a...
There are even those who still ask for the recipe, hoping to find a copy. Every one of these dishes came from a kitchen where someone cared enough to make a holiday feel special, even on a tight budget. If one of these recipes brought back a memory, we want to hear about it. Tell us in the comments which dish your family made every single year, and tell us if you still make it today. If this video took you back to a summer or simpler time you remember, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next one. We bring back one forgotten recipe collection like this every single week, and we would love to have you with us for the next one.